In the heart of West Africa, where the sun blazed over the vast expanses of desert and jungle, a tale of unprecedented wealth, power, and generosity unfolded. It was the 14th century, and while Europe was being ravaged by wars and plagues, a new ruler ascended to the throne of the Mali Empire, a kingdom that held the wealth of nations in its grasp. This man was Mansa Musa, destined to be remembered not just as a king, but as the wealthiest individual in human history. Musa's rise to power was unexpected, the result of a fateful decision made by his predecessor, the ambitious Abu Bakr II. Abu Bakr, driven by an insatiable curiosity, embarked on a grand voyage to find the edges of the Atlantic Ocean, leaving his empire behind. But Abu Bakr never returned. His ships disappeared into the horizon, swallowed by the unknown. In his absence, the empire needed a new leader, someone to steer the ship of state through uncertain waters. Musa, a trusted deputy and advisor, was chosen to take the reins. Mansa Musa inherited a flourishing empire, abundant in resources that the rest of the world could only dream of. Gold and salt flowed like rivers from the mines and markets of Mali, making the empire an economic powerhouse. Under his steady leadership, the Mali Empire began its transformation from a prosperous kingdom to a colossal, influential realm that spanned from the Atlantic coast to the bustling trade hubs of Timbuktu and Gao. But Mansa Musa's ambitions stretched far beyond the accumulation of wealth. He sought to make Mali a beacon of culture, faith, and education. In 1324, the world would finally get a glimpse of the true scale of Mansa Musa's wealth and influence. As a devout Muslim, Musa undertook the Hajj, the sacred pilgrimage to Mecca. But unlike any other pilgrim, his journey was an awe-inspiring spectacle. With him traveled a caravan so grand it would be talked about for centuries. Tens of thousands of soldiers, slaves, and courtiers, all adorned in the finest Persian silks. Hundreds of camels and horses carried an unimaginable cargo. Vast quantities of gold, shining in the desert sun, enough to fund entire cities. The caravan's passage through Egypt left an indelible mark on all who witnessed it. As Musa and his entourage entered the streets of Cairo, the city's ruler, Sultan al-Nasir, was eager to meet this legendary king. At first, Mansa Musa was reluctant to accept an audience, unwilling to perform the customary acts of deference that al-Nasir demanded. Yet, after a tense standoff, Musa agreed to a meeting, though he refused to kiss the Sultan's feet. This subtle act of defiance, along with Musa's regal bearing, earned him the respect of al-Nasir and the awe of Egypt. But it was not just the king's demeanor that left an impression. Mansa Musa's generosity knew no bounds. He lavished gold upon the people of Cairo, from the merchants in the markets to the poorest beggars in the streets. It was said that his spending was so extravagant that the value of gold in Egypt plummeted, sending the local economy into a tailspin. It took over a decade for the region to recover from the economic shock that Musa's generosity had inadvertently caused. Musa's pilgrimage was not only a display of wealth, but also a diplomatic and territorial triumph. On his journey back from Mecca, he seized the city of Gao, an important stronghold in the Songhai Kingdom. This strategic acquisition further extended Mali's influence across the Niger River, cementing Mansa Musa's control over one of West Africa's most critical trade routes. At the height of his reign, Musa's empire stretched across modern-day Senegal, Gambia, Guinea, Niger, Nigeria, Chad, and Mauritania. Yet his legacy would be defined not just by the vastness of his territory, but by his commitment to fostering a rich cultural and intellectual landscape. Perhaps no city benefited more from Mansa Musa's vision than Timbuktu, which became a beacon of learning and spirituality under his rule. The king poured his wealth into building grand mosques, universities, libraries, and schools, transforming the city into a renowned center of Islamic scholarship. One of his most famous constructions, the Jinguereber Mosque, was built with local materials of mud brick and wood, and has stood the test of time for over 500 years, a testament to the lasting impact of Musa's reign. Timbuktu attracted scholars from across the Islamic world, and its libraries housed thousands of manuscripts on subjects ranging from theology to astronomy. It became the intellectual heart of West Africa, a place where ideas flowed as freely as gold once had. Mansa Musa's pilgrimage to Mecca had not only left a lasting impression on the people of Egypt, but news of his vast wealth spread far beyond the borders of Africa. In the 1375 Catalan Atlas, a European map created by Spanish cartographer Abraham Cresques, Mansa Musa was depicted sitting on a golden throne, holding a scepter and a nugget of gold, a symbol of his unmatched riches. His fame was so widespread that it influenced European explorers who sought to uncover the sources of Mali's legendary wealth, inspiring quests for gold that would span centuries. Yet, despite all the gold that flowed through his empire, Musa was not simply a collector of riches. He was a visionary leader who used his wealth to uplift his people and build a lasting legacy of culture, education, and faith. Today, historians struggle to quantify Mansa Musa's wealth. It is said that his fortune was so vast, so incomprehensible, that it defies modern calculations. University of Michigan professor Rudolf Ware has said that any attempt to imagine Musa's wealth should begin with imagining as much gold as you think a human being could possess, and double it. Mansa Musa's story is more than one of wealth. It is a tale of a king who, through his generosity, wisdom, and ambition, left an indelible mark on the world, one that continues to shine through the centuries. His rise transformed the Mali Empire into one of the most prosperous and powerful civilizations of its time, and his legacy as the Golden King remains as enduring as the deserts over which he once ruled. Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, make sure to hit that like button, and also don't forget to subscribe.